Hello everyone, this is Tamela, and I want to welcome you back again to another exciting episode of Designing with Holt on Design. I have been admiring these bar stools with these ring pulls on the back for quite some time. So while I was perusing on the internet, I came across these bar stools and I decided to take on the challenge to recreate this look using my existing bar stools in my home. So in this video, I'm going to show you how I recreated this look using my existing bar stools. So let's go ahead and jump right into the fun. Now, these are the materials that you're going to need in order to recreate this look. You're going to need a letter opener or some sort of semi-sharp knife, a pair of scissors, one tape measure, one Phillips screwdriver, one small drywall screw, and the screw size I'm using is 1/4 by 8 inches, 2 decorative ring pulls, and 2 joint screw fasteners with one side flat. So now let's go ahead and jump right into this project. Okay everyone, this is the bar stool that I'm going to be adding this ring to give that designer look, and I picked up this ring from Hobby Lobby. It was half off of $5.99, so I like this ring and has that brushed nickel finish, and I love the detail that's on it. So this is what I'm going to screw into this bar stool to give it that designer look. Now, the first thing you want to make sure that your bar stool has a wood frame. And of course, I knew it had a wood frame because the legs are wood, but I also wanted to make sure that there was a wood frame up here in the upholstered area. So I felt around, and this is where the wood frame is located. It's all right here, and you want to make sure that it's thick enough because you're going to need for it to be thick enough and wide enough to accommodate the screw. And so this is where I'm going to add that decorative ring right here to give that designer look to my bar stool. So the next thing you want to do, you want to measure from end to end because you need to find the middle part of the chair because that's where you're going to screw in your decorative knob. So I have my measuring tape. I'm going to measure from end to end. It measures in right at 20 inches, so my middle part's going to be at 10 inches. So now you can see that I've already marked off where the middle part of this chair is, and now I'm using this letter opener. And the reason why I'm using the letter opener, because it's sharp enough, but it's not too sharp to where it would damage the fabric. And this is another note, this is a tightly woven chenille, so I'm really not too much concerned about this starting to run or starting to fray. So keep that in mind when whichever bar stool or whichever chair you're planning on using, make sure you use a tightly woven fabric or a very sturdy fabric. You wouldn't want to try this on a silk chair or any type of material that will fray or run. So I'm using this letter opener, and I'm just going to slice through, because remember you have the fabric that you have to go through as well as batting. So, and like I said, I want to use a letter opener because I have more control over making the hole and getting down into the batting and also through this fabric, and it's not going to like just slice it completely up. You can use whatever tool that's going to cut through your fabric, but this letter opener is working perfect for what I needed to do on this particular fabric. So I'm just cutting open a hole, and then next I'm going to peel back the layers and make more of a definite hole with a pair of scissors. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So stay tuned. Okay, so now once you've sliced through the fabric with the letter opener or with whatever tool you're using to cut through the fabric, then you want to take your scissors. Now, you don't want to make the hole bigger than the head of the knob. So always keep that in mind because the knob head is going to have to cover where you cut the hole. And the reason why you're cutting through this and you're cutting a hole is because you need to get to the wood. You have to make an opening so that way you can screw this into the wood. So the purpose of the scissors, like I said, you don't want to cut a big hole, but you want to cut around it as you are digging through. And then once you've done that, then you take your letter opener or whatever tool you're using to cut through the fabric, and then you keep going until you hit wood. And you'll know when you hit wood because you'll be able to feel it, and the sharp point of the utensil that you're using should be able to dig into it. So right now I'm right at wood, so I have achieved my goal at getting into this fabric and getting to the wood. So now I'm going to show you how you need to change out the screw and put in a different screw that will screw into this wood on this bar stool. Okay, so now I want to talk about this particular handle that I'm going to use to add onto this bar stool. Again, I purchased this from Hobby Lobby, and it already comes with the screw along with the washer and a nut. Well, you're not going to need this particular screw because it doesn't have a pointed edge to be able to drill into the wood on this bar stool. So we're simply going to remove all of this from this handle, and I'm going to show you the type of screw that you're going to need. You're going to need to pick up a fastener just like this. And it's flat on this side so that you'll be able to screw it into the handle, and then it's sharp on this side so you'll be able to screw into the wood. And this is a size 8. You want to make sure that whatever knob that you choose, the replacement screw is going to fit back into the knob. So I had to go to Ace Hardware to find this particular knob. Home Depot and Lowe's did not have it. So always keep that in mind. Whichever knob that you have, the screw that comes with it, make sure you get the same size screw fastener to fit into this knob, so that way you'll be able to screw it into the wood part of the chair. So I'm going to show you how to drill a hole so that you'll be able to screw this into the chair. So stay tuned. So now we need to get a hole started that will enable us to be able to drill the knob into this chair. And I just took a simple drywall screw, and it's a little bit smaller than the screw that's going into the knob. And I just took a Phillips screwdriver, and remember, I've already hit the wood in this chair, so I'm just going to insert the screw in the hole, and I'm going to screw. And you're not wanting to screw the screw all the way in. You're just starting a hole so that you'll be able to screw the screw that's inside the knob. Now, I would not advise using a power drill to do this, because a power drill is going to gather the fabric and twist the fabric. And you cannot really control the speed or torque that the power screw will have. So your best bet is just to use just a manual screwdriver and just screw until you feel it tightening into the wood. And like I said, you don't want to screw this screw all the way into the hole. You just want to get a hole started so that way you'll be able to screw the knob into the wood. Okay, so now I've already added in the new screw into the knob. And you want to make sure the pointed part of the screw is out. The flat part you screw inside of the head of the knob. And this is the way the knob is going onto the chair. So then you just simply, and remember, you've already screwed it in, but then you pulled the drywall screw out, and you've already hit the wood. So this should go in pretty fairly easy. So you just take this screw and you just start screwing it in there. This is going to be easy because now at this point, all you're having to do is turn the knob. And once you'll feel yourself biting into the wood, and once it gets going, then all you have to do is sit there and just twist the knob. Look, and it's going in, and you're just twisting and twisting and twisting until you get it all the way to the chair. Okay guys, this is the final reveal. The knob is securely fastened into the bar stool, and it's very tight and taut. I'm not concerned about the handle coming out or being pulled out if someone wants to pull the bar stool from underneath the countertop. So now I have created my designer looking bar stool. So now hopefully I have inspired you to recreate this ring pulled look on the back of some bar stools you have in your home or a couple of chairs. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button and join the Haute on Design family. And once again, thanks for watching Designing with Haute on Design, designing for the home, body, and soul. Bye for now.